Hello. Today I have a green tea, which is good. I'm exhausted. I need some extra caffeine. But not too much because my body doesn't really like caffeine. Anyway, today I wanted to tell you about a guy I met, and I actually don't remember him, which is a silly story, kind of, but it also has a good lesson in there as well. I kind of mentioned already that I was considering writing a book. I've had a lot of people tell me I should write a book because, obviously there's a lot more details in a book than you can share in a quick little video. So actually years ago, I had kind of just typed out like an outline with chapter headings and things to help myself remember who these people were and, like, more importantly, what order I met them in, because I feel like that's a little bit more important, especially if you're doing like a book with an arch or an arc. You're gonna want to like see the progression and see how like certain lessons about people build off of the other lessons. So anyway, I had a list of just like little notes for myself. That's what I've been doing these videos off of, and I've kind of updated it over the years because I just kind of have this idea in the back of my head. Anyway, so the one that I titled for this guy in the chapter was The Guy I Could Have Loved. And I cannot for the life of me remember who he was. And obviously I had very strong feelings for him. And I mean, I could probably blame that on chemo brain, but I haven't had trouble remembering any of the other people. And I didn't even need the list to remember them. I just needed the list to get the order right. But this guy, I don't know. I don't know who he was. I don't know if we ever met or if it was just a conversation. I'm at a loss. And I almost didn't include it because I don't really have a story to tell about him, or like why it didn't work out, or why we never actually fell in love, right? But I was thinking about it, and that's kind of the lesson right there. Because I clearly had enough feelings for him that 4 years ago, when I started compiling this list of people who were like noteworthy enough to be included in the book, because obviously not every person I've ever spoken to is in this concept, just the like kind of like obvious noteworthy ones. But I can't remember him, and I felt strongly enough about him to title it that way. Like, I could have loved him. There was enough chemistry, enough connection, enough compatibility for me to think that he was a real potential, right? More so than the other people that I spent my time with. Like, I used the love word. It was a big deal. I must have felt very strongly about him and had high hopes, but I can't remember him. And then I got to thinking, when it ended, I was probably devastated that it didn't work out. Because if you have those hopes that they're going to be the person that you love, like the one that you are looking for, you're going to be devastated when it ends. And it feels like that devastation in itself will never end. And it feels like nobody could ever even come close to comparing to that person or taking their place. And I think that's the lesson. That's the lesson I'm going to take away from it, is that no matter how strong your feelings are, no matter how devastating that disappointment is, no matter how difficult it is to get over a person or the letdown of something not working out, all of that like negative, traumatic, difficult stuff, it's not gonna last. And even if you do remember the person, it's not going to be as strong as it was, because you're going to keep moving through your life. You're going to keep growing and healing and thriving, hopefully, into other situations, meeting other people, romantic or not. Like, that moment in time is going to end. And I mean, that country song, if you're going through hell, just keep going. Because you're going to get to the other side of it sooner or later. And I think that's the lesson. I don't know who he was or how things ended, but obviously they ended. Maybe I messed up. Maybe he messed up. Who the heck knows? But maybe we never met and I was just like being extra romantic about somebody that I was talking to. But at the end of the day, all of those like angsty, difficult feelings, they're gone. And as we navigate through this crazy dating world that's out there, it can feel very overwhelming in the moment, and it can feel very difficult in the moment. And like whatever season or situation you're in, there is no end in sight. But take this as proof as there's end in sight, and potentially you may never remember that it happened. Honestly, if I hadn't made those notes intending to write a book, I wouldn't even have any clue that at one point I was feeling strongly enough that I might love someone, and poof, he's gone. So you can take that as you want. I'm going to take it as a reminder that a lot of things, especially in this dating world when it's all very early on and like just a few dates in and you really don't know a person, hold it loosely, because the likelihood of somebody, you know, really making an impact on your life when you've only had 3 or 4 dates is pretty low. And we don't need to get all wrapped up in it, and we don't need to have our whole world rocked because of one bad date or one bad conversation. So if you're still out there trying to find that person, hold it loosely, because it's going to end. Like, unless they are your person, it's going to end. The pain will end. The frustration will end. It will be over, and it will lessen or disappear completely.